There are moments in human history when the universe throws something at us so strange, so utterly baffling, that even the world's brightest scientists are forced to pause. We are living through one of those moments right now. High-powered telescopes trained on the outer regions of our solar system have detected a colossal object hurtling toward the Sun. At first glance, astronomers classified it as a comet, another icy traveler from the deep void of interstellar space. But as days passed and data poured in, the story became far stranger. This wasn't behaving like any ordinary comet we've ever recorded. Its speed fluctuated, its trajectory bent in ways gravitational models couldn't fully explain. And most puzzling of all, its brightness pulsed rhythmically, almost like a signal. The mystery quickly spread from quiet observatories to international headlines. What exactly is this thing? Scientists have tentatively labeled it 3I Atlas, making it only the third interstellar visitor we've ever documented. The first was Oumuamua in 2017, a cigar-shaped anomaly that defied conventional explanation. The second, Comet Borisov in 2019, behaved more like a traditional comet, though it sparked debate. But this newcomer, 3I Atlas, has rewritten the rule book entirely. Unlike anything before, it seems to interact with solar radiation in ways that don't match natural expectations. Instead of breaking apart as it nears the Sun, it appears to strengthen, as if feeding off the immense energy pouring outward. That's the opposite of what should happen. Normal comets crumble, fragment, or disintegrate under the Sun's heat. Yet this one grows more stable, more luminous, more controlled. And here lies the chilling question: how can a frozen ball of rock and ice resist the very star that tears apart everything else in its path? Some researchers whisper that maybe we are not looking at something purely natural. Could this be a probe, a relic, a machine cloaked in the disguise of cosmic debris? Of course, official statements from agencies like NASA and ESA dismiss such notions, labeling them as wild speculation, but behind closed doors, the scientific community is divided. A portion insists the object is just an unusually resilient comet, while others admit privately that there are anomalies they simply cannot reconcile with our current understanding of astrophysics. Even more unsettling are the energy spikes recorded in its vicinity. Observatories tracking electromagnetic emissions noticed bursts of radiation that seem patterned, not random. To the average eye, these fluctuations might mean little, but to experts, they resemble intentional modulation similar to how humans send coded signals across radio waves. Is this natural chaos masquerading as order, or is order cleverly hidden within chaos? No one is certain. What is certain is that 3I Atlas has forced us into a moment of confrontation. Either we're witnessing a new category of cosmic object, or we're staring directly at evidence of technology, not of this Earth, and either answer, natural or artificial, changes everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. The mystery deepens when we compare 3I Atlas to past interstellar visitors. Oumuamua, discovered in 2017, was our first true glimpse of something that didn't originate within the solar system. Astronomers expected it to behave like a rock or a comet, yet it did neither. Instead, it tumbled oddly, accelerated without a visible propulsion source, and reflected light in patterns inconsistent with anything natural we had previously catalogued. Some scientists, like Harvard's Avi Loeb, boldly suggested it might be a probe, an idea that sparked controversy but also shifted the conversation. Then came Comet Borisov in 2019, which behaved far more predictably, easing the tension of alien speculation. It looked, smelled, and acted like a comet. But now, with 3I Atlas, the unsettling anomalies are back, and this time they're stronger than ever. Unlike Oumuamua, which quickly passed through and left us with more questions than answers, 3I Atlas lingers. Its trajectory, while still on an interstellar path, appears oddly calculated, Small deviations in its orbit almost seem as though they're being adjusted, tiny corrections, like the nudges of a pilot keeping a craft steady in turbulence. Natural forces alone shouldn't be able to produce such precision. Could it be a coincidence of physics? Perhaps, but the timing, the pattern, and the persistence of these corrections raise unsettling doubts. Observers also point to the object's brightness. With comets, increased brightness typically signals the sublimation of ice as it approaches the sun, releasing dust and gas that reflect sunlight. But the glow of 3I Atlas isn't chaotic, it's rhythmic. Telescopes have captured consistent pulsations of light, almost like a beacon. At intervals, the brightness dips and rises, steady enough to suggest a cycle. While mainstream astronomers attribute this to surface rotation or unusual composition, others quietly ask, what if it's deliberate? What if what we're witnessing isn't reflection at all, but emission, something being powered from within? Governments and space agencies have been unusually cautious with their public statements. NASA has acknowledged the comet's anomalies but insists that more study is needed before jumping to conclusions. Yet leaked reports and insider chatter hint at growing unease. Some astrophysicists believe the object may carry unknown materials that react uniquely to solar wind. Others, however, are convinced that we're dealing with something entirely outside the scope of natural law. A few even whisper that classified satellite data shows electromagnetic interference as the object draws nearer, disrupting signals in ways unexplained by standard physics. The public, naturally, is divided. For some, this is nothing more than the overexcitement of scientists eager for discovery. For others, it's the smoking gun, the evidence of advanced technology humanity has long speculated about but never confirmed. And caught in the middle are researchers, torn between professional caution and private fascination. What they all agree on, however, is that 3I Atlas is rewriting what we thought possible, whether by nature's strange hand or by intelligence beyond Earth. This object is a wake-up call. It reminds us that the universe still holds secrets far beyond the reach of even our most advanced theories. If 3I Atlas were merely a scientific curiosity, the story might end with researchers scratching their heads and publishing cautious papers, but the implications run far deeper. Humanity has always gazed at the stars with two conflicting emotions, wonder and fear. On one hand, the cosmos inspires awe with its endless beauty. On the other, it reminds us how small and vulnerable we are. When an object like this arrives, alien in origin, unexplainable in behavior, it stirs both emotions at once. Could this be an opportunity, a moment to confirm we are not alone? Or could it be a warning, a sign that forces beyond our understanding are now intruding into our solar system? The truth could shift our entire perception of existence. What unsettles scientists most is the timing. Astronomical events like comets and asteroids are often random, governed by chance encounters over billions of years. Yet 3I Atlas appeared during a period of heightened solar activity, coinciding with flares and coronal mass ejections that were already testing Earth's fragile satellites and power grids. It's as though the object chose a moment when the sun's violence might mask its own unusual behavior. To skeptics, this is nothing more than coincidence. To believers, it feels calculated, as if timing itself were part of a larger design. Adding to the unease are reports of strange alignments. Several independent astronomers have noticed that as 3I Atlas approached the inner solar system, it passed near specific gravitational sweet spots, known as Lagrange points, regions where the pull of gravity from two large bodies, like Earth and the Sun, balance perfectly. Space agencies themselves often use these zones to position satellites for stability. So, why is 3I Atlas passing so close to them? Some dismiss it as a natural trajectory shaped by gravity, but others see intent, a kind of interstellar navigation system being followed. Meanwhile, Ordinary people watching from their backyards report unusual sightings, streaks of light, strange flashes near the horizon, or brief disruptions in radio frequencies when the comet is overhead. Most of these can be explained as atmospheric interference or misidentified meteors, but not all. Some recordings have captured unexplainable bursts of light directly associated with the object's path. These grassroots observations, often dismissed by professionals, add yet another layer of mystery. The emotional impact cannot be overstated. For centuries, comets were seen as omens, harbingers of change, disaster, or divine intervention. Even in our modern, scientific age, those old instincts stir again. News outlets frame 3I Atlas with ominous headlines, while social media teems with speculation ranging from secret government knowledge to doomsday prophecies. The line between science and storytelling blurs, just as it always has whenever humanity faces the unknown, and in that blur lies the central truth. This object isn't just a chunk of cosmic ice. It's a mirror reflecting our deepest hopes, fears, and questions about life beyond Earth. As governments and space agencies maintain silence, the absence of transparency only fuels speculation. Ordinary citizens wonder if there is nothing unusual about 3I Atlas. Why is so much information being withheld? Official channels share carefully worded statements, vague and noncommittal, while behind closed doors leaks suggest frantic activity. Meetings at NASA, the Pentagon, the European Space Agency, and China's National Space Administration reportedly run late into the night, drafting contingency plans. Yet, no agency openly declares what they fear most: that these objects are not natural at all but technological. The secrecy, intentional or not, becomes its own kind of confirmation. Because in science, silence rarely means nothing is happening. It often means something too large, too disruptive, is unfolding to share with the public. This secrecy has historical echoes. Time and again, governments have controlled the flow of information about unexplained aerial or space phenomena, whether it was the Cold War, when reports of UFOs were routinely classified, or more recent disclosures of unidentified aerial phenomena. The pattern is consistent: reassure in public, scramble in private. If 3I Atlas and its companions represent something engineered, then authorities know the psychological shock could destabilize society. Economies could falter, religions could fracture, and trust in institutions already fragile could collapse entirely. For leaders, the greatest fear may not be the objects themselves, but humanity's reaction to them. Meanwhile, the scientific community struggles to interpret the data. Telescopes confirm the companions radiate enormous amounts of energy, yet no known natural mechanism accounts for it. Spectral analysis reveals exotic metallic compositions inconsistent with comets, but skeptics argue that unknown astrophysical processes might be at work. This divide among experts creates fertile ground for speculation. Some propose these are alien probes deployed as scouts. Others suggest they might be autonomous machines, harvesting energy from solar winds or even testing defenses in our solar system. And still, a cautious few cling to the idea that some natural explanation yet undiscovered might one day be revealed. But even these skeptics admit the evidence doesn't fit neatly into conventional science. Public imagination fills the void. Across the world, theories flourish online. Some claim the companions are precursors to a greater fleet, preparing for contact or conquest. Others suggest they are guardians, here to observe or protect Earth from unseen cosmic dangers. Still others tie them to ancient records, pointing to descriptions of green-tailed stars in Babylonian, Chinese, and medieval European chronicles. If these cycles are real, perhaps humanity has encountered such phenomena before, only to interpret them through myth and legend. Now, with the instruments of modern science, we are witnessing what our ancestors could only describe as omens. Yet, the question remains, why now? Why would such objects emerge in this moment of history? when humanity is more technologically advanced than ever but still fragile, divided, and uncertain of its place in the universe. Is this a coincidence of cosmic timing, or something deliberate, a calculated arrival designed for maximum impact? The deeper scientists dig, the clearer it becomes that the phenomenon cannot be dismissed as ordinary, and with every unanswered question, one unsettling possibility grows louder. Perhaps these objects are not here by chance at all. In the end, the most haunting aspect of 3I, Atlas and its companions, is not what we know, but what we don't. For all the telescopes, instruments, and data streams at our disposal, the phenomenon remains stubbornly elusive. The 9 escorts appeared almost instantaneously, synchronized to a precision beyond human engineering, radiating energy levels that dwarf our greatest reactors. They travel not as random fragments, but as if choreographed, bound by laws of motion that suggest intention rather than chance. Each observation deepens the mystery, yet no explanation satisfies the evidence. The more science looks, the less natural it all appears. And so, the human mind drifts toward the unspoken questions. If these are machines, who sent them? If they are scouts, what are they searching for? And if they are emissaries, what message do they carry, one of peace or one of conquest? Throughout history, humanity has speculated about contact with civilizations beyond Earth. Some imagined benevolent teachers, bearers of wisdom and progress. Others feared conquerors wielding technologies capable of erasing us in an instant. What makes 3I, Atlas, so chilling is that both possibilities still stand. Until intent is revealed, silence is as terrifying as any weapon. The timing of its journey into the solar system cannot be ignored. As Atlas nears perihelion, the point of closest approach to the sun, the world enters a blackout window where our instruments are blinded by solar glare. It is during these critical days that the convoy may act unseen by human eyes. Was this coincidence or scheduling? If deliberate, then these objects were timed to move when observation would be most difficult, ensuring that whatever mission they carry out unfolds in darkness. That thought alone has sent ripples of dread through those who dare to consider it. Meanwhile, Earth itself seems to whisper responses. Strange vibrations ripple through seismographs. Electromagnetic pulses align with the companion's orbits, and animal migrations falter as if the natural world senses a disturbance. Are these coincidences? Or is our planet already resonating with something we cannot yet measure, reacting to forces we barely understand? Each anomaly adds weight to the idea that these objects are not simply passing through, but actively engaging with our system in ways that may already be affecting us. And yet, despite the leaks, despite the data, despite the whispers of scientists too cautious to speak publicly, the silence remains. Authorities offer no answers. Agencies release no raw data. To the public, only fragments escape, pieced together by amateur astronomers and curious citizens. It is in this vacuum of truth that fear thrives, because when silence is the loudest answer, it usually means the truth is more dangerous than the lie. So we wait, we watch, we speculate, but deep down, one realization gnaws at the collective human consciousness. What if this convoy was always meant to arrive? What if its cycles predate civilization, appearing again and again, always at moments when humanity was too weak, too distracted, or too blind to comprehend it? This time, we see it with clarity, and perhaps that is the most terrifying truth of all. For if they are not here by chance, then they are here by design. And design always has a purpose. The only question left is, what is theirs?